So in this video, I'm going to explain how you can save an email from Outlook into your Dynamics CRM system using the Dynamics app within Outlook. And I'm also going to explore some of the personal settings around email that you probably need to know about. Anyway, let's go into Outlook and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm in a sort of test Outlook system. I've not got a lot of emails in here. I've kind of set up a test email earlier on, so I can see that in the viewing pane at the moment. You can see here I've also got the ability to open up apps. If I click on that, then one of those apps is a Dynamics 365 app. I'm going to select that and that's going to open that up. I'm also going to pin it so it doesn't keep closing every time I move between records. That's now pinned. So let's explain that. So basically what that app is doing is it's looking at this particular email record and saying, this is the record within CRM that I think this relates to. So it thinks it relates to this particular record, Richard Boardman. Now, I can look at this record in more detail just by clicking on this link here on this field, and I get a rendering of the data that's contained within the CRM system. So there's not a lot of real estate for it to play with, so it's not perfect, but I can see effectively more information about that record. If I want to come out of that, I just go down onto the back arrow and I'm back at that initial view that I showed earlier. If I want to look at the record within the Dynamics CRM system itself, I can click on the three dots. I've got the option to view in Dynamics 365, which is what I'm going to do. That opens that record up, so I can see that record within Dynamics easily. If I go back to this now, what I want to do is save this email back against that record. At the moment, it's telling me it's not tracked. So I've got a few options here. I can just click on those three dots and say track without regarding, and effectively what this will do is it will link it directly to that contact record. However, I can, if I just come out of that, I can set a regarding. In other words, I can save it not just to the contact record, but I could track it against another record of some description. So it might be that this email is in relation to an opportunity that we're working on, and I want to save it against that opportunity as well. What I can do, if I wanted to, is look through the system here. It will search the CRM for the relevant record, or I can have a look at the records that are directly attached to Richard that are displaying in this view, one of which is this test opportunity here. And I've got the option through these little icons at the end of the field here to set the regarding to these items as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it against this RB test opportunity. So I'm just going to click here, set regarding. I've just clicked on that. You can see at the top here, it said it's successfully tracked. And you can see that on the email itself, it's indicating that email has been tracked to the CRM system. If I go to my contact record that I was viewing a moment or two, click the refresh, you can see I've now got an email activity in that timeline. If I go to my related areas and go to my opportunities, which I've got one on this record, open that up, you can see I've got the same email that's going to say that's saved against that. So that is how I can save it into the CRM system. Now, if I wish to, and I want to untrack it, maybe I've linked it to the wrong record and I want to remove that tracking, I've got the ability to untrack that. It says you want to delete the email activity in Dynamics 365. I'm going to say yes, and it's now flagged that as not tracked. That's taken the flag off the record itself. And if I go into that contact record, you'll see that that's no longer there. Now, in a second, I'm just going to talk about how we handle maybe an email coming in from somebody we don't have in our system. Before I do that, I just wanted to say, if you are trying to get more out of your Dynamics CRM system and you want some guidance on next steps, then feel very free to reach out. I've put some links below. Always happy to have a chat to people about their specific situation. Anyway, let's talk about an email that we haven't got in our system. So Microsoft very kindly has sent me an email here called Microsoft Power Apps. And it's saying when I click on that within my Dynamics app this is an unknown recipient that don't exist in my system. If I want to, what I can do, and I've got a little area here, which is add a plus. So I can click on that, and then I can add this as a contact. I could add this as a lead. I could add this as an account. So if I wanted to add it, let's say it's a lead, it's just something that's come in, and I think it might be a lead, and we're just going to process it as that. I can just click on add on lead. I then get the quick create dialog for a lead. All the fields that are mandatory within Dynamics become mandatory in this, and I'm just going to put this as a test lead. And I don't think I have to do too much more than that. It's kind of inserting the email in there. It's put a first name and Microsoft Power and app, so it's doing its best to try and put some information into that record. I can then save and close that. That's going to create that as a lead record, and it's going to track that record within the, it's going to track that email against that in the system. So if I want to view that in Dynamics 365, I can open up that lead record I just created, and you can see that the email is appended there. So quite a powerful thing to be doing. So that's some of the sort of basic functions of that Dynamics app within Outlook. One thing I do want to touch on is some of these settings. Now, if I just click on the personalization settings, so I clicked on the cog at the top there, open that up, and I've got a tab here called email. And this tells me how things are going to behave. So the area I'm particularly interested in here is this track item. I've got a drop down list and I've got some options in it. So I've got the option to track all email messages. Often people are really pleased when they see this because they just want emails going to the system, and they will sometimes go and implement that feature and very quickly thereafter quickly decide they don't want that feature, because it means every email you receive is going to go in. Some are highly personal, some have got sensitive data. You don't necessarily want that data going directly into the CRM system, being potentially viewable by all users. So I would stay away from that. Again, on similar line, we've got email messages coming, all email messages coming in from leads, contacts, or accounts, or email messages from any records that are email enabled. I'd steer away from those. The two I would consider is, as I've got set up here, email messages in response to Dynamics 365 email. So effectively what it's going to do is, if I track that and I get any replies, it's going to put the replies in as well. Or I would just put no email messages and you have to track everything. It can be quite dangerous. It works for some people, but if you are getting personal or sensitive data coming through, you don't necessarily want that pushed into your CRM system. So just be aware, those are personal settings. They're not global settings. They're personal settings that you as a user can control. So just make sure you've got the right ones set up there. Anyway, hopefully that's a helpful introduction to saving emails from Outlook into Dynamics 365 for sales. It's one in quite a number of videos we've done specifically on Dynamics 365 for sales. So please check out the channel if you'd like to. Also, if you've got suggested content ideas or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, check out the links below. Anyway, thanks very much for your time today, and hopefully see you again soon.